Good afternoon, good morning, good evening from any part of the world that we are. I welcome you formally to this special webinar that we usually hold every month. It's been a while that we've seen our faces and we're happy and we're glad to see our faces yet again. So we want to start straight away into our program and we'll go to our opening prayer and I'll ask that Mr. Frank Silvanus handle that session. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. Frank. Okay, so since it's not available, let's just go straight to the opening prayer. Our eternal rock of ages, we thank you for another opportunity again for us to learn. Thank you for how far you have led us. Thank you because we know that you love us so much and you have good plans for us. We're only praying that all our aspirations and our dreams become a reality. And through this presentation today, through this webinar, let our eyes be opened more to a wider range of opportunities and bless us indeed in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. So we'll go to the next on our agenda, and that has to do with the welcome address, and I'll be taking that session. On behalf of Study Globally Nigeria, I want to thank every one of us for finding time to join us again for this webinar. Remember that it's been a while since we had the last one. The last one we had was in June, and we've had some little issues that have not been able to help us to do the other ones we missed the other months. But I'm glad and I'm happy that we're having another one again today. I want to sincerely appreciate the Society of Petroleum Engineers that has always been supportive. They've been encouraging us and they've been collaborating with us, and our partnership has been a shared one. And sincere appreciation to the management and staff of Study Globally Nigeria for all the support as well. And to every one of us that are here, the guest speaker who is already here, and every one of us that have joined, and those who also inform their friends and loved ones, we say thank you very much for joining in and for being part of today's occasion. Without wasting much time and without much ado, we'll be looking at a very, very sensitive topic today. And like you all know, many of us are looking for a way to fulfill our dreams. But what we see as a challenge usually is how to go about it. And one of the things has to do with raising money. So we'll be hearing from a resource person who is also a close friend of mine to an extent. And he's been blessed because he's a recipient of 4 different scholarship awards. And for somebody to have gotten this, it's not a mean feat. What this means is that this goes to show that whatever it is that you want to achieve in life, you can also always achieve it. The major thing is to be resilient and to always remain focused and to be on track. There's nothing that can limit you. That's the only drawback. And so that's the only inference I can give you from everything that has happened in the life of this young man. And I'm sure that during the course of his presentation to us this evening, we will all, in a very, very large scale, decide that there's nothing that can limit us. Money cannot be a limitation to us. So what it means is that there are a whole world of opportunities, avalanche of opportunities that are there for you and I to latch on. But the major thing is what differentiates the poor from the rich is just information. And I'm really pleased and I'm glad that I'm seeing everybody here this evening. And if it's morning in some parts of the world, and also for those who are in some parts of the world that it's night, I am pleased that you are here. I'm only pleading that you take your time to sit back and take notes where necessary, and make sure that during the course of the question and answer session, you also ask your questions. You have the opportunity of asking your questions on the chat box. The chat box is open. You can write your questions there. We'll take it from there. And during the question and answer time, we'll be asking him these questions directly, and he will give justice to those questions. But in the meantime, relax and just have an open mind and be cheerful, if I will use that language, and just find something to write down and make sure that you tell a friend about this event now. If your friends have not joined, tell them to come on, come on board because something exciting is about to take place. Thank you very much for listening. So straight away, I will move to a little about our services. So I would like to just listen to this small audio. All right. So thank you so much for listening or just watching a little playlet about what we do. So there'll be an opportunity for us to still come back and tell you about our services. But summarily, to an extent, we're actually poised to help Nigerians or Africans to actually fulfill their dreams of studying abroad. It is do us a whole lot of good as a company, as a brand, to make sure that we ensure that this becomes a reality. So what we do is part of what you are seeing here. We do a lot of education. We do a lot of enlightenment. We help people to review their CVs. We help people to review their statements of purpose. We even help people to write their statement of purpose, even though they are premium services. Now, what we do for free is that we help people to process the admission into any school of their choice, at least particularly in these countries of the world, in US, in Canada, in Australia, in Ireland, and in the United Kingdom. So what this means is that after this webinar, you can reach out to us. We'll be sharing our phone numbers to you. We'll also be sharing our social media handles to you so that you can reach out to us in any of these platforms and begin this process with us. The simple truth of the matter is that our services are actually free. But over time, we see that a lot of people we use our platform or use us as a brand to get admission to any school of their choice in these countries I've mentioned. But unfortunately, they just leave it. They get an offer and they don't even follow it up as to making initial deposits and the rest. So we have now seen that what is best for us is that to an extent, the company has now said there should be a fee. But the process is actually free. That fee we are collecting from you at the end of the day, we still refund you back. So, like we did for some persons recently, is that once you've already gained admission and you want to now pay your school fees, so it's at that point we can give you back that money. So, but we just want that you are serious and you're committed. But the truth of the matter is that we have a lot of at least 98% success stories of persons who have gone through us and have applied through us and they have gained admission, and today they are in the UK and other parts of the world. So I will not waste much time and dwell much time on this because we'll be having this presentation in another session during the course of this our webinar. So without much ado, I would like to straight away go to introduce my guest speaker. I would like us to just listen while I begin to reel out a little about my friend. Kenneth Okonkwo is an agripreneur with over 5 years experience in agri-tech development and climate smart agriculture. He's the founder and CEO of Iritech Nigeria Limited, where precise solar powered irrigation kits farmers across Nigeria. He holds a bachelor's degree in agricultural technology from the Federal University of Technology, Owerri, a mini MBA from Lagos Business School, and a certificate in social change leadership from Starley School of Leadership Studies, Kansas State University, USA. He is currently pursuing his doctorate degree in biological sciences at St. Louis University, Missouri, USA, and also serves as a research assistant at the Donald Danforth Plant Science Center, USA. Mr. Kenneth has managed various international and local agricultural developmental projects that fosters the growth of small-scale agricultural businesses, such as the United States Consulate Farming for Empowerment and Entrepreneurship Development Project, 2019 German Consulate Feed Project, and also the World Bank Group sponsored a peace project in Lagos State, Nigeria. Mr. Kenneth is a United States Consulate Carleton Youth Fellow, a TEDx Journal Johannesburg Fellow, a TFF West African Ambassador, a Young Innovation Leaders Fellow, and a 2019 African Future Awards Prize for Agriculture nominee. Through his PhD research, he hopes to develop new and novel perennial crop species that will be used to enhance sustainable agriculture and food security in Africa. Let's all make welcome Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo as he gives us his presentation. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Kachi, and good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Depending on the part of the world you are joining us from today. It's really exciting to be here to actually share my experience on my grad school journey and probably give you one or two hints on how you can actually go ahead to achieve, your own dreams and visions of studying abroad. Yeah, and just like our host said at the beginning of this event, he said something very, very striking. He said that it's very, very possible. You can actually achieve your dreams and your goals, but all it requires from you is your dedication, your commitment, and definitely you achieve that goal. And I'll add to it planning, planning and planning and planning. Plan ahead of time and be committed to that your plan. Definitely you will achieve it. It took me about 3-4 years before I got it right. And looking back, I wish I had, met platforms and companies like Study Globally. I believe it wouldn't have taken me that long. And that's one of the challenges most people have currently. Many people actually have this desire, many people have this goal to actually study abroad, but they don't know how to go about it. And that is why Study Globally is here now to make this process very, very easy for you and I because I learned one thing during this process that you cannot do it all alone. At some point, you will definitely need guidance, you will need mentorship, you will need people who are experienced and who have gone through the process or who have helped other people to achieve this goal to guide you. And that's why I would advise you to please hold on to Study Globally because over here in the US, even in my school here, I've seen a whole lot of students that are here and they actually got here through, many of them were professionals back in Nigeria. They were workers, bankers. They had a busy schedule that didn't allow them to take out time to, go through all these processes. Most of them didn't even really understand what it entails to get here. But what they did was to reach out to platforms like these and they really guided them and helped them. And just like he said, the major challenge for people has been after getting admission, what next? Yes, studying over here is very, very expensive. It is financially draining. And if you don't have the financial capacity to do that, it might become a very huge uphill task for you. And the next question is, how do you go about getting funding? Before I go deeply into my own presentation on how to actually get scholarship and funding to fund your master's or PhD studies, specifically in US, I also like to share that I've met a whole lot of Nigerians who are here on self-funding and they are doing very, very fine. And one of the ways they have gotten here is through Empower Loan. So after getting your admission and you did not get funding, there are so many platforms out there that are willing, financial service companies out there that are willing to give you loan to actually come here and study and pay back. One of the most popular ones is Empower, M for man, Empower Loan is a US-based company that actually gives you loan to study and you pay back over a period of 10 years. So for instance, if your school fees and your living expenses is like 20,000 dollars, Empower will give you that $20,000, although it's not directly to you, they'll pay it to your school. So after you have gotten your admission, you can apply for the Empower loan. And once they approve it, they'll even give you um, 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 a document to show proof of funds when you go for your visa interview. And the U.S. consulate and U.S. embassy in Nigeria knows more about Empower. So definitely they will have to approve your visa. And when you get to the U.S., Empower pays the money straight to your school's account. Your school takes their school fees and pays you your living expenses to your account. So Empower will tell you, okay, we gave you $20,000. You're going to pay us back $30,000, over a period of 10 years. So it's just like extra $10,000 interest, and you pay over a period of 10 years. So once you arrive in the US and start working as an international student, because once you arrive there, there are so many jobs for you, on campus jobs for you to work, and you get paid monthly or sometimes 2 weeks in a week, 2 times in a week. So what do? You pay back. Like I know people who pay $100. I know people who pay $200. I know people who pay the person I know that pay highest is just $350. Pay back $350 every month back to Empower, and you pay this over a period of 10 years. So you don't have much load on you. In fact, most people after their studies they get very good paying job. They don't even stop to 10 years before they finish paying back their loan to Empower. It's just an option that I wanted to bring to our knowledge that something like this actually exists. So should in case you get admission and you don't get you get an admission and you don't get any form of financial package that is suitable. So why I wanted to focus more on US is that US is actually I call it the home of scholarships. It's the home of scholarships if you know how to go about it. If study globally helps you to get admission, your next and you couldn't get the Empower loan, the next thing you might ask yourself is how do you actually get funding for your studies? And here in the US, there are over 5,000 universities, like over 5,000 schools. And this is how it goes. Unlike UK and some of the European countries, we have popular scholarships like the Children's Scholarship, Erasmus Mundus, Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, that scholarship. These scholarships are very, very excellent. But the problem I have with them is that they are very, very competitive. Imagine Chevening, like last year that I got Chevening, they selected about 43 of us, and we are about 8,000 something that applied from Nigeria alone. We are 200 and something that went for interview, and they ended up selecting 43. That's even very high. Erasmus Mundus selects only 3 people per program per country. So, for instance, we are applying for mechanical engineering. They are only going to select 3 persons from Nigeria. And you imagine about 1,000 persons applying for that particular program from Nigeria, and they're just going to select only 3. So that's one of the problems I have with such scholarships because they are very, very competitive. While in US here, there's abundance of it. You just have to know how to go about it and sit down to select. So, like I said initially, there are over 5,000 schools in the US, and um, for example, let's say mechanical engineering departments in a particular school. So this department definitely have, let's say they have up to 20 lecturers or professors, let's say lecturers in that department. So this is how it works. Each of these um, each of these lecturers at a certain time in the year, they receive grants, they receive funding from various organizations. It might be the government, it might be private organizations, it might be donors from various agencies to carry out research in order to better their country. Now, these professors are very busy. People time to carry PhD students under that professor. Automatically, some departments and some schools will definitely waive your school fees for you. Then some of them contains health insurance. Health insurance is waived for you too. And the professor will be paying you monthly stipend from the grant he got while you'll be working with him or her on that project. maybe supporting in the lab activities or the field activities or wherever it has to be with that project. So it's just like you are studying and carrying out research, in the lab of that professor for you. The financial package might cover other stuff, but they will definitely pay you monthly stipend, for doing that. Now, the biggest question has been, so when you get when you get such package, it's called research assistantship. So you are a research assistant. Now, the biggest question has been, how can I get a professor? Because it's been a huge task for people getting a professor. That's biggest question. So how can I get a professor, or how do I even know a professor that has funding that I can work with? Is a challenge I passed the process to go about it. We call it cold emailing. Most of us must have heard about it. Cold email, just like finding a professor in such activities that aligns with yours. Maybe you went to the Department of Chemical Engineering, you go through their departmental lecturers, page. You saw the lecturers, because each department, um, they have a tab called Faculty tab. If you click on it, you will see the list of all lecturers or professors working in that department. In fact, you will see their name, their phone number, their email address, their research interests, their research activities. Some of them even have their CV there. Some of them even have their own personal lab websites, there. So you click on it, you see a whole lot of um, information about this particular professor. Some of them will even tell you, I am currently searching and looking out for students to take into lab. Please follow these instructions to apply. So might not even solicit for that. So what do? You write code email. So code email is just like writing to a certain professor, hello professor this, hello professor that. You introduce yourself. My name is this, from this country. I had my undergrad in this, and I am interested, in studying for my MSc or PhD in your department, in your school, and I came across your research activities. They look so fascinating and interesting, and they actually aligns with my own interest and goals. And I'm looking at applying to this school, and I wanted to know if you'd be willing to take in a graduate student, this year or next year. And if you actually, then you attach your academic CV to that, and send that email. And if your email actually you know gets the attention of the professor, definitely he or she will write back um and try to schedule a meeting with you. And if everything goes well, definitely it's the first step to you getting here. um Now, very, very importantly, one of the reasons why most people, like myself, last year I wrote over 300 emails. And like I said, if I look back today, if I had known what I knew today, back then, I wouldn't have written over 300 emails. I could remember from August to September, I wrote over 300 emails, and I went about it the wrong way. If I had seen platforms like and companies like Study Globally, who would have guided me on how to write code email and even helped me to arrange my academic CV very well, I could have gotten it right, because you don't just use anyhow CV. You have to tailor your CV to be an academic CV, to be able to capture the attention of the professor. And this is what Study Globally can actually do very, very well for you, and save you the stress of writing over 300 emails like I did. So that's the first step. Now, like I said, I wrote over 300 emails. I was getting responses, and the responses was this: "Oh, Kenneth, oh, I love your experience. I love your background, and thank you for having interest in my lab. But sorry, my lab is full. Oh, sorry, I don't have funds. Oh, sorry, I'm not taking any new students for next year." That was just the responses I was getting. So it means I think I was getting the emails right, but I was shooting the right emails to the wrong persons. And that's how I got to know that there is a way you can actually find currently funded professors in the US according to your research interest and field. And you can actually write email to them. And I will quickly, maybe you can write it down. I'll also share this with our host, maybe so they can find a way to share it via email to everyone that attended. So the site is NSF, nsf.gov/award search. nsf.gov/ yes, thank you, award search. Yeah. So in the US. Now when you go to award search, the award search page is a page whereby you can actually so when you click on award search, it will take you to the award search page. Please click on, you see advanced search. Use advanced search tab and follow the instructions there. So I use the advanced search tab and I just went to keywords and type in the area of my research interest. And when I clicked search, I was shocked to see currently and past funded research projects. Like I saw thousands of currently funded projects. And what I had to do was to go through each of them, and see those that actually aligns to my career goals and interests. And I had to start doing what? You see every detail there. In fact, you even see the abstracts of the research, the abstract of the research grant. You see the abstract, you see every information, the person who the grant is being awarded to, the duration in terms of year, the amount, the school. You see everything about the research. So having that information, I was able to get the right. I was informed on how to tailor my email to this professor. So I wrote the email directly to the professor, and when the professor saw it, he was like, "Oh yeah, this person has interest in what I'm currently funded on," and that's how I could remember. I learned about this on Saturday, and on Monday I sent out a couple of emails. That same week, I got 4 different professors from 4 different schools. So this is one of the best ways you can easily go about getting professors for your funding to become a research assistant. The second way to go about it is called teaching assistantship. So if you are not a research assistant, you can become a teaching assistant. So that means you are admitted to this. So you did not get any professor to work with, but Study Globally helped you to write a very good and compelling statement of purpose. Your CV was looking very nice. Other side of your application materials, like your CGPA, was looking very nice too. Maybe you had one of these exams like your GRE, or you had your IELTS or TOEFL, you had something like that. Your profile looks very good. The department wouldn't want to let you go. They would like to have someone like you. So they will give you admission and give you something called teaching assistantship, because so many departments also have funding for that. So as a teaching assistant, it means you are studying and maybe you'll be teaching 1 year, one year, one course, or maybe taking a lab course. So just teaching year ones in the lab, or helping a professor to grade books, grade record or assignments of year ones, just one administrative work in the department, and they'll be paying you, school fees will be waived for you, health insurance will be covered, and they'll be paying you monthly stipend to do that. So that's another way. And if there's no money in the department and you are a very good student and they want to keep you, they'll give you graduate assistantship. So that means you might be working at the university level, like helping at the Senate to do 1 or 2 works in the university, or helping in the department to do one administrative work in the department. And your school fees will be waived for you, and you get your monthly stipend. So that's assistance. So that is getting a professor, because once you have gotten a professor, it helps to make your journey it means because it's just like once all professors get to see it, they share it across to all these professors, they get to see it. And because you have already spoken with a professor who has funding and is willing to accept you, they don't stress anything. They just, in fact, they even waive some of these things for you that they require. I could remember, I don't have an MSc yet, so they have to waive that for me straight to PhD, because I've already spoken with the professor. I did not do any transcript evaluation. I didn't even apply with any English test or anything. Why? Because I've already spoken with a professor, and she told them, see, I've spoken with this guy, he's very good. I need him in my lab. So just go ahead and admit him. And I have funding to cover him. So just go ahead and admit him. So it was very, very easy for me. If you don't have a professor yet, you can just ensure that you package your application materials very well. That is what Study Globally can help you do. And what I mean by packaging your application material very well is not just only your CGPA. You might have a very good CGPA, but if other areas is lacking, like your SOP, your statement of purpose, if you don't have a very good, well-written statement of purpose, it might be a problem. So I will always advise you to reach out to, study globally to help you craft a very good, compelling SOP, a very good academic CV. And if every other pack or every other part of the application is well written and complete, you will definitely get funding because, like I said, there are thousands of school out here, and they are looking for students. That's the funny part of it because coming here, I've got to find out that even their citizens don't really want to go to school, especially going for advanced degree because with your BSc, even with your high school at some point, you can actually get some good paying job to live a very good, decent life. So those that go further, like going for MSc or PhD, are actually those who have interest to go into research and academia. So, and most of them, what are they going to find in academia since they know that with their BSc or even with their secondary school start, they can actually get some level of good paying jobs. So they don't really go to school. And there are a lot of research that is going on that professors are looking for students. Then another big problem we have in Nigeria, we want to go to these very, very big schools that are known, very, very big schools that are popular here in the US. And there are so many other schools, especially schools in the Midwest states. There are so many schools that are not known, and these schools have a lot of funding for students. They're even attracting international students that even if they don't give you 100% scholarship, they might give you 50, 60, 70% scholarship just to get you to their school. And like I said, which documents do you need? The first and most important document has been your transcript. You have to get your transcript from your university. It might be your student's copy. Yeah, student's copy is okay. That's the first, very, very first important document you need. You can get your certificate if it is ready, or your statement of results is okay. The next is your academic CV. So you don't just use your normal professional CV for this. It's academic CV, and Study Globally can help you do that. Then you need your your international passport. Very, very important. Very, very important. Then um, the other documents that are there is English proficiency test. Although many schools with that, something like IELTS, IELTS, and TOEFL, TOEFL. Many schools currently with that. Then GRE is an exam that you have to write. Also, it's also because of COVID-19, a lot of schools are within this. But this is what I learned recently. Competition is getting very high. Everyone wants to study abroad. Everyone is getting the right information. Many people are getting good platforms like Study Globally to guide them. Many people are getting good mentors to guide them. So, how do you distinguish yourself? How do you increase your application package? How do you show your worth? You have to try and get these stuffs. Coming here, I notice that Nigerians were even learning like the Chinese and the Indians, they write all these exams and they ace it very well. So you have to actually try. I'm not saying it's compulsory. If you have the funds, try and write. If not all, especially IELTS or TOEFL, just write it to improve your own chances. Because imagine 100 people applied for a particular department, and all of you have the same score. When they graded you, all of you had 90, 90, 90. What do they do next? They start looking for people that might have one or two other documents. Might be your IELTS, might give you extra points to get admitted or even considered for funding, because especially for those who might be taking in as teaching assistants, you need to prove that you can actually communicate and speak very well in English. They want to know that you can, teach their children in English. And one of the ways you can do that is your showing them your English proficiency results or test score. So I always advise people to try their possible best to just get one of these. IELTS or TOEFL is okay, and and your application materials is complete. Um, so this is it. And another mistake most of us make also is not working with application timeline. If you go to a departmental page, you will see it. You will see they'll tell you what they require for the application, and they'll tell you deadlines. We overlook that deadline, especially deadlines for international students. So they have priority deadlines. Priority deadlines means if you can apply and submit your application within this time, before this time, you will definitely be considered for funding and admission. That's the craziest part of it. In fact, there are so many schools that if you get admitted into their PhD program, automatically you'll be funded. Automatically you'll be funded. There are so many schools like that, especially my department and even some departments in my school. Once you're admitted into the application, into the department, you'll be automatically funded. But the challenge is getting to know the application deadline. The information is clearly written on the website, but we try to ignore that. So these are the informations I always advise us to take critical consideration into. Application deadline matters a lot. And if you know you're targeting to be here by this time next year, you should have gotten some of these materials by now, and you should have been getting ready to submit your applications latest by November, December. You should have sent out your application to these schools. So this brings an end to my presentation. I hope I was able to make it a little bit clear on how you can get funding for your studies, and I'll be ready to take more questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kenneth, for that amazing presentation. I'm sure a lot of us have taken note of the important things that were mentioned during the course of that presentation, and we are going to be putting it into practice. So if during the course of Mr. Kenneth's presentation you had any questions or any comments, go ahead and drop it in the comment section, and we are going to be attending to it very soon. But in the meantime, I'm going to just run through some of the services that is offered by Study Globally Nigeria, some of which Mr. Kenneth has highlighted during the course of his presentation. So this webinar is sponsored by Study Globally Nigeria in collaboration with SPE Port Harcourt session. And Study Globally Nigeria is an international consultant company that offers free admission guidance and application processing. And we are currently partnered with over 250 institutions in the US, in the UK, in Canada, and Ireland. So we also offer free spouse visa guidance for people that are that are married, and also offer post-admission guidance, part-time job placement during studies. So our number is on this screen. It is also in the comment section, and you can contact us at any time for your admission processing and guidance. Right now, we are currently assisting a lot of students for the January intake, and will encourage you to continue to reach out to us for a smooth admission processing. Okay, so I'll go ahead and check the comment section now for any questions that we may have. So please go ahead and drop your questions in the comment section so that Mr. Kenneth can attend to them. So we won't be taking any audio questions. If you have any questions, please just go ahead and type it in the chat session, and then we're going to be reading them out. Okay, we'll just give it like maybe 30 more seconds to see if any questions come up before moving ahead. Okay, we have one here. So someone says, what are those smaller schools with fundings? And the question is 2 in 1. So the first one is, what are those smaller schools with funding? And also, do you know of organizations who offer funds for GRE or IELTS?
Okay, so for what are the smaller schools for that offer funding? I won't really call them smaller schools, but I will call them schools that are not so popular because people want to go to Florida, everybody wants to go to California, everybody wants to go to Texas. And I will say there are schools in Midwest, so we call them Midwestern states like Missouri, Kansas, Mississippi. Most of these states, people like South Dakota, North Dakota, many people don't really want to go there because of the weather somehow. So the weather is a little bit extreme, like very, very cold, and when it's going to be hot, it's also hot. But people don't like to look at those schools. Everyone wants to go to Florida. So I would just say, just try and look at schools in these states. You can just Google Midwestern states. I think study globally here can also help a lot in that regard too. I know they have partnership with thousands of schools across the world, and they actually know schools that will even give you more funding in that regard. Then for organizations that sponsor GRE IELTS, I know about there's this ICE, is it ICE Scholar Initiative that sponsors students every year for that. Then another one is Education USA. Education, yeah, Education USA. They actually do that very well every year. So they are called for applications. People apply, and if you get selected, definitely they will fund and support your IELTS. Or then is it Michael Taiwo Scholarship too? Yeah, Michael Taiwo Scholarship specifically does that. Within for Nigerian students, they will help you if you get selected for that year. They will help you provide you funding and guidance for your English proficiency test or GRE test exams. So those are the ones I know, but there might be more that can sponsor you doing that.
Okay, thank you very much for answering the question. So we have another one here. It says, which will you recommend, GMAT or GRE for an engineering graduate?
Well, I will recommend you write GRE. Nevertheless, confirm from the department if it is a compulsory requirement. I know anything that has to do with engineering, yeah, most of the schools will require that to get your GRE. So I will advise you go for GRE.
Okay. Then also, does the mechanical engineering department offer fully funded admissions for your school? And what other departments offer fully funded programs in your school?
Mm, well, I've not really checked the engineering department in my school. If they do offer, they should definitely they should, especially at the PhD level. They should, because PhD is very, very stressful and it's not something you can just easily do on self funding. So I would definitely check out. Then I also like to advise, don't just because you want to leave, you go for anyhow program or anyhow department that you're not you don't have full clear background on it, or you don't even have it as your career goals and plans. You will definitely get frustrated once you arrive there because it's a different ball game. It's something else here. The educational system here is intense, and that's why you see so many people dropping out or committing suicide and the rest due to depression. So if you know you want to pursue a career in the line of chemical engineering, mechanical engineering, or any line, and you have background in that area, you don't necessarily need to have background, but at least you are sure that this is an area you have passion for. Please go for it. But if not, don't just do because you want to leave. You see any department that's offering funding and just jump into it. You will definitely be frustrated here. So I always advise you go for something you have serious passion and interest for, and it will help you when you arrive here.
Okay, thank you very much for that advice. Okay, so the next one is, if you have PhD already and you want to go for MSc in another course, should you hide your PhD certificate and present your MSc for a better chance to getting visa?
This is a very, very tricky one for visa purpose, because definitely if in your visa application form, that is your DS-160, and you show that you have an MSc already, you have a PhD already, and you want to go back again and do an MSc, definitely the visa officer will ask you that question. So why are you going back? In fact, not even going for another PhD, but you're going for an MSc. It's a very tough one. But another way you can go about it is, if the MSc you are coming here to do is in another field entirely, then you can actually present a very good case why you are switching to that field. Maybe you have worked and gained experience in this field, but you found out a new field where you have your research, where you have your career goals and interests, and there is a need in that field. Maybe this is an area that is lacking professionals in the country, and you can only gain the right skills and experience in the US for you to be able to come back and help contribute to the development of that field, or solving the problem that that field is meant to solve. That's the only way you can go about it. But should you hide it? Lying in your application is also dangerous, because if they find out, it's going to result to more challenges and problems. So I think the best way to go about it is just let it all out there, but try to find a very good case to present to your visa officer, if it is for visa or not for admission.
All right. So the next question we have here is, what are the chances for students who studied engineering and have a second class lower? What are their chances of gaining funding?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So, first of all, I have seen a lot of colleagues here. I've seen a lot of people here with third class. I have seen those with 2-2. I have seen those with HND and ND. They are all here on some on full funding, some on partial funding, some on self funding. And so, if you're in that category, third class, 2-2, or ND or HND, what I will always advise you to do is to do what is called WES evaluation. I believe Study Globally have that. They will guide you on how to do that. So WES evaluation is just like this. Is also a US based company that will help you evaluate your Nigerian transcript and turn it to a US standard transcript. So most people that have HND or ND, after doing WES evaluation, you see them having 2-1 in US standard. You see those who have 2-2 or third class in Nigeria, after doing WS evaluation, you see them having very good 2-1, US standard. So that's what WES evaluation does for you. So it helps you. And most schools always, recommend that, oh, if you're an international student, please try and do WS evaluation. So once you do that, they help you boost your CGPA from whatever it is to something higher and equivalent to US standard. And you can now use that to apply. And once you do that, you have a very, very good high chance of definitely getting not just admission alone, but with funding.
Okay, thank you very much. So the next person is asking how we can reach you on social media, your social media handles.
Okay, my name is Okonkwo Kenneth, and I guess that's my name across all um, social media handles. And to easily get to me, definitely, um, you might just have to go through Study Globally, and they'll provide every information you need to. Because the reason I'm saying that is I call it a mistake of posting about my grad studies here. So all my social media DMs are messed up, like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I have messages there that I haven't really responded to, because I just had to go and post about starting my grad studies there. So everyone was trying to reach out on how to go about it. And thank God for this program now that gave me the opportunity to share my experience and journey on how to go about it. So if you really want to make things very fast and easy, I think just go through Study Globally, and it makes things very, very fast.
Okay, that's awesome. So now we have two people that would like to ask their questions via audio. So, Mr. Philip, Lawrence, you can go ahead and ask your question, but please keep the questions short and concise. Thank you very much.
Definitely. Good evening. Good evening, Mr. Okonkwo. A great presentation. Now, my question is, what is the chances of those that have HND in getting admission in US, especially STEM course, right? STEM-related course. And secondly, study abroad? Study globally. Do you help with the admission processing? And also, if I decide to see, I want to use Empower to finance my education, do you also help with the application process too with Empower? Thank you.
Okay, so I think I'll take mine, and then Study Globally will also address the second part. So like I think I answered your question, the first part of your question. I think I answered it very few minutes ago. So like I said, if you have ND, HND, especially, I will always advise those that just have both ND and HND. Coming with only ND or only HND it won't really help. So have your ND and HND or third class or 2-2. Just do what is called WES evaluation. WES evaluation. It's just like you go to WES website, you register, put in your details, apply, pay, and then you go to your school and request that your school send your transcript to WES. So once WES receives your transcript and your documents from your school and authenticates it, they will just do the evaluation. So they just translate your Nigerian transcript your Nigerian transcript and CGPA to a US standard transcript and certificate. So at the end of the day, instead of having Nigerian ND or HND transcript, you are having CGPA, you are having a US standard CGPA, which is higher because over here the educational system is 4.0, and most of us, our schools are 5.0. And when you now have ND and HND together, it comes very, very high. So you see yourself having like, because some schools require minimum of 3.0 CGPA. Over here is minimum 3.0. Many schools, some depending on the course, might request less than 3.0. But anything from 3.0 and above, gives you a better chance. Then if you do WS evaluation, if you have 2221 HND or ND in Nigeria, if you do WS evaluation, definitely your CGPA will climb as high as 3.2, 3.3, 3.4. So that's the best way to go about it. And with that, you have the same level of opportunity with those with 2-1 and first class. And remember, I said something very, very important. These guys over here, they do holistic application review. So what I mean by holistic application review is that they don't just look at your CGPA alone. They look at your SOP, your statement of purpose. And that statement of purpose is very, very critical. It's the most important document in your application. Every other documents are very, very important. But you see that SOP, that's the first document everybody reads. Try to know, do you have the right motivation for this program? Do you have the skills, background, or experiences related to this program? What are your leadership goals in the past? Like, what are your leadership goals and experiences? They just want to see, it's not really all about academics. Are there other aspects of you as a human being, that they can gain from in the study? So they do holistic application review, admission review. Then if you have your IELTS or GRE to add to it, like if you have all these things, oh my God, they will go for you than someone who had first class. So that's one thing with them here. So over to you,
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Sorry, I left something out of which I think you should also answer. Now, is it a must I use words from a transcript evaluation, or I can also use any consulting firm under NACES?
Yes, thank you for that important question. So, I don't know if West is the most expensive of all. Like I said, confirm from the department's website. So from the department's website or the school's admission requirements, they will specify they want. Some will tell you WES or any NACE partnered consulting firm. Yeah, they will tell you. But before you make that decision, confirm from the school's departmental page first. I know the most popular is West, but NACE is partnering organizations will be there. But confirm. Yeah.
Okay, so let me just quickly come in as to helping to process your admission. Yes, that's why we're here. So, like he has mentioned, he has listed a lot of requirements as to the documents that we're requesting. It's always good to have these documents complete. That means most schools that we always apply to, they always expect that the students present all their documents completed. So what it means is that you might have other documents and you don't have your transcripts. Please note that no school will make any decision without your transcript, for example, or your international passport. Very, very important. So like you said, if you need to take your time to get these documents completely, please do get them and just reach out to us so that we can guide you through the process. We'll search for these schools for you, as mentioned. We have a lot of partnership schools in the US, in UK, in Canada, in Australia, and in Ireland. You can just reach out to us after today and we'll help you look for these schools. We'll check for your eligibility as well. Once we also do that check for you, then you are good to go. And as to the other question you asked about Empower, okay, so I will send if you can reach out to me, we'll send you more information about this because, like I said during the course of my welcome address, I did say that this particular webinar is such that it's going to give you a lot of expose. There will be a lot of secrets or messages that I'll be revealing to you because you are here, which you will not find in the public domain. So thank you.
Your line is breaking.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Kachi, for that insight, and thank you very much, Mr. Kenneth, for honoring our invitation to come and share your experience, share your experience with us today. I'm sure we have learned a lot, and we look forward to putting all of this into practices and looking for having our success stories as well in the near future.
Okay, I think her line is
So thank you very much. Okay. All right. Mr. Kachi, are we good?
Okay. I think your line was breaking. Oh, is it from my end?
All right, can you guys hear me?
Okay. Okay. Sorry, sir. Just one quick stuff so that before we take the photo session, sir. I don't know if I can quickly. So someone was asking if WS expires. No, it doesn't expire. Just like your transcript. So it doesn't expire. Once you do it, you have it for life. Then one last thing, Mr. Kachi said something important, which most of us don't really take seriously. Is have all your documents. Like once you have all your documents ready, it makes this journey so fast and easy for you. Yeah, and I advise people to take time. It's not something you just rush and get it tomorrow, come here next tomorrow. No, take time. If you look at those documents, consult Study Globally. They'll tell you the documents you need and look at the ones you have and look at the ones you don't have. Take your time. Like take your time, get all these documents, give it to them, and they help you process your admission. It is easier, even funding and everything becomes easier for you once you have some of these documents. It will take time, it will take money, but just plan towards it, get them, and it makes your journey so easy coming here. But if you don't have all these documents, it's always rough. And even if you get admission, most times it might not come with funding most times. But like I said, get all documents and this journey will be so easy for you.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Okay, so we're going straight to our photo session. Please, can we all put on our cameras or videos as the case may be? and our smiling faces. Good to see everyone.
Okay, Kashi, you may want to stop sharing for a while.
That's fine.
Okay, some videos are still coming up.
So let's wait for them.
Some places are not smiling. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. So you may decide to put off your videos now. We go straight to our announcements. That will be handled by a representative of SPE. Announcement, please.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, can I go on?
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, you can go on.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good evening, all. I want to thank our speaker for that wonderful presentation. Thank you very much, Mr. Kenneth. And also, I want to appreciate Study Globally for all they do, trying to assist people who want to study abroad. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So as you can see on the screen, we are SPE. SPE is a Society of Petroleum Engineers. We are a worldwide forum of individual members, organization, serving managers, engineers, scientists, and all professional worldwide. I say the professional worldwide because it's not just limited to petroleum engineers only. It cut across other professions, regardless of your experience or course of study. Sorry, please, if you are not, please mute your mic. So from the right-hand part of the presentation on your screen, you see we have a student member. We also have a recent graduate, those people who just graduated and they are in between student and young professionals. So they are on transition level from being a student member to a young professional. So we also have our senior professionals, those who have spent quite a long number of period in the industry. So we owe them high esteem. They are senior professionals. And also from the chart by your left and also under the chart, you see that are some of the benefits you can get from being a member of SPE. So this just to mention but few. We have you can get a strong industrial network of leaders, peer and mentors. We also have you can also derive technical knowledge from all of our sections and also enhance industry knowledge and a lot more from being a member of SPE. You can take part in most of our activities as being a member of SPE. So from your screen, you see some of the activities that we also do apart from technical activities or technical lectures, we also engage in charity. We visit orphanage home, this is the less privileged. And not just that, we also engaged in aerobic. So if you are a member and you have not renewed your membership, you are encouraged today to renew your membership. And also, if you want to become a member of SPE, there are contacts you can send a message to on the next slide. Please move to the next slide. So these are some of the contacts you can just send a message to, and we'll take it up from there. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Simeon. That's our technical events manager for Society of Petroleum Engineers, and we are super grateful to him for all his support, much more the work he does at the back end. So at this point in time, I want to sincerely thank you all for joining and for waiting till this time. And we're saying God bless you all. And I'm pretty sure we have learned so many things. We've been exposed to some certain secrets that may not be available in the public space. And I'm pretty sure that our lives are better off than before. So what I can just say at this point in time is that you will need to reach out to us. Like you have seen on the chat box, our phone numbers are available. You can reach out to us on phone, on WhatsApp, or you can check us on our social media handles, and we'll take it up from there. Our dream is to see you fulfill your dreams. If it's if one of them is for you to get funding in the US, thank God we have somebody we can reach out to, and is a beneficiary, has gotten a lot of awards, and you can be the next person. So on behalf of Study Globally Nigeria and our partner, Society of Petroleum Engineers, we want to say thank you for waiting, and we hope to see you some other time when we're having this next month. So in the meantime, do have a wonderful night rest for those who are over there who are this night, or do enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you and God bless you. Shall we round off with a closing prayer as I pray from here? Lord, we thank you for seeing us through the course of today's presentation or webinar, as it were. We thank you for our speaker and all the participants. And thank you because you've armed us with information to make our lives better. We pray that as a result of today's experience, that our lives will be better off than this, and that all our aspirations shall come to fruition. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Thank you very much. See you next month. We'll be sharing our information to you through your platform, either via your email addresses. And you can also understand that this program was streamed on YouTube. So you can revert back to YouTube after this program to get a recap of what we did. Thank you. God bless you. Mr. Kenneth, if you are still on the call, thank you. Bye, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.